Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, November 28th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5 card spread? Two cards just flying out. Let's see what we have here. We've got the Fool card in its upright in combination with the Queen of Cups in its reversal. So I want to talk. This is very much in alignment with what I was saying when I was giving a recap of this energy right now prior to beginning the podcast. So I wanted to, it's a little bit of it's weird energy right now. And I want to walk you through why it might be feeling a little weird. The word I'm going to say is big feelings. Now why are we seeing or sensing that modality of big feelings right now? So one of the things that's important to notate or recognize is that yesterday Saturn stationed direct. Now, typically, I know we've been waiting, I know everybody's been waiting for these planets to come out of retrograde cycles. But the difficulty point that we often pick up upon when it comes to the fact that what we effectively, what we have right now with Saturn being direct and Mercury in retrograde and Venus passing ahead of Mercury, given the fact that we're going through the retrograde period. I feel like this is often the way I can describe it best is it can sometimes create the experience of dealing with convoluted circumstances. Now, what do we mean? What do we mean by convoluted? So convoluted is the space by which the convolution is the space by which we try to do something, right? Like we try to do something the way that one has always done it, but it doesn't make sense, right? It's often working through. It's like navigating through old changes, right? Like things that change in the experience or the modality by which we don't even recognize that they're energetically occurring. And the thing that we often experience when we're dealing with convolution, and you sometimes see this, and we talk a lot about this whole the whole experience that we just navigated with this recent full moon cycle was working through this to a certain extent. When we adapt or when we come into those adaptability points, it sometimes allows for the ability to recognize and identify in terms of how we are effectively, what's the word I'm looking for? The way that we are recontextualizing things. So that's effectively, and I feel like it's going to be like this probably for the next couple of days. It'll probably ease up. The nice thing about it right now is Mercury is going direct again in tomorrow. So I want to say this with a lot, don't get too frustrated right now if you're feeling energetically jammed up, because the jam up is effectively the vibe. It's the vibe of the fact that Saturn is stationed direct and Mercury is in retrograde, and with Venus Venus moving by at the same time, it can often and the one thing I want to say is don't let your feelings get in the way. Don't take the jam up energetically personally, because it's literally the vibe right now. You know what I mean? And I know how frustrating that can be. We were talking about it yesterday. But because the thing I need to describe is it feels very Sisyphus, right? And if you know the story of Sisyphus, it's like a little weight behind a big thing, right? So I keep on seeing don't don't get too frustrated. Just be patient with yourself, right? Because I keep on getting that patience, like that patience is the compassion that you're putting both towards yourself and situations. Now, this is having a big impact depending on where you find yourself on the frequency cycles. We're going to talk first about the energy that's in solitude. And you'll notice that I'm saying solitude instead of separation because it doesn't even feel correct. The reason I'm going to explain why in a moment. 2 cards coming out center of the spread right now. Wow. And this is what I mean. Look at this. Look at these cards right now, my friends. Okay? This is molasses energy. All right, we've got 8. We've got the 8 of Wands in its reversal in combination with the Hanged Man. So, I want to describe like the thing that we're seeing, okay? Like, do you know, and I want to explain this. Like, when we're moving through dense energy, right? And then we're trying to like we try to move through it. It can sometimes create the space by which we exhaust ourselves, right? When really it's not. I keep wondering, it's not about exhausting ourselves. It's just allowing the context of being energetically patient. So I want you to recognize that. I want you to identify if you're experiencing that. But I also think the one thing I keep on seeing right now, and we're going to talk about it specifically for these energies that are in solitude right now, the observation is effectively, the observation is effectively built upon and based upon the stabilization point in terms of how we try, like what it is that we can expect from one another. And so I feel like this is really important because one of the things that we are effectively seeing is for a lot of these energies that are in solitude, these relationships have been coming together since, I want to say, they've been coming together since way back in the fall, before we had that eclipse season with Uranus stationing retrograde. And I feel like for a lot of those energies, they're just now moving into the context of being able to talk about what it is that they experience, particularly as it relates to past relationship. I keep on getting the same message that these are relationships where individuals are healing from pedestalized partnerships. And the difficulty point with the pedestalized partnership is the feeling that nothing that you do feels like it's energetically correct, right? It's like it's having to work through those experiences of going through a situation or circumstance that feels like it does a number on our self-esteem, because healthy relationship does not pin potential on personhood. They pin potential on the pathwork of determination in relationality to where the direction of the relationship is going. So for a lot of these relationships, simply being in a situation where they can talk to another person and they discover that there is a margin by which they can learn, right? There's a margin by which they can grow. Like there's adaptability that can occur in terms of what they are coming to like identify. Like I keep on hearing, it's like that in itself is the energetic relief, because it's the energy that's feeling like it's safe. Like they feel like it's safe to be able to like work something out or work something through with another, right? Like it's giving a lot of that experience here. But the hard part is, and I feel like this is like where I see like a little bit of this energetic stress potentially happening, because if these are relationships that are in solitude right now and they're building into healthy partnership, and then we've got Saturn, that is stationing direct right now. that can often talk about, like, I feel like that can often bring forth the frustration in energies in inconsistent communication dynamics, which is the space by which another person like delivers a lot of feelings or doesn't deliver anything, right? This is why I keep on hearing, like, this is why we don't have feelings dump. Like, we don't dump feelings on each other, right? Because, like, and I keep on hearing, especially if these are relationships where there was like a situation by which they were healing from something where another person pulled away, right? And like they're like working through solitude, and then somebody just comes forward and they arrive with all of these feelings. It's often the indicative point of feelings that don't necessarily have directions attached to them, but really someone just getting something. And this is why we don't just get things off our chest, as it were, right? We don't get things off our chest because the space by which we get things off our chest is the space by which we articulate or identify how it could move. It's the space by which we have a productive conversation on it. And this is exactly what I mean in relationality to the energy opening up to each other in these new relationships. They're having conversations. I keep on getting, they're having conversations upon convolution versus transfiguration, right? And the thing about it is convolution and transfiguration often look the same if you don't know what you're recognizing, because convolution is talking about the fact that one has a lot of feelings on something, right? It's the space by which one is just articulating the energetic density of something. And the thing is, this is often why when we're having convoluted conversations with someone, it can sometimes feel like a quagmire, because you're talking and 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 you're talking about the hurdle, right? But you're not talking about anything that you need to get over the hurdle, right? It's like you're like, there's a wall there, and you're like, I know, and they're like, it's a big wall, and you're like, I know. Look how big the wall is. I know. It's like, yeah. How are you getting around it, right? How do you move beyond it, right? How do you move on past not the limitation point, but through the excellence, like into the energetic excellence? And that's what we keep on seeing. So I feel like the difference that's happening in some of these moon relationships that are coming through right now is, I keep on getting, it's the energy, like it's working through a conversation by which they're navigating the density of emotions. But the density of the emotions that then have a progress for, like they have a clarification point. They have a direction, right? It's like, and I keep on seeing that even the space by which another is talking about their feelings, but then they're talking about what it is that they're doing to work through something. I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, kind of like a lot of the energy, like working through those circumstances or those situations. I feel like it's like I keep on getting like it feels so liberating, because I keep on seeing that it's like the energy that's understanding that we don't bring each other, like we don't come to each other just to unload upon, like we don't come to each other just to speak upon our problems. We come to each other to formulate solutions, right? So there's a lot of that. I feel like there's a lot of that energy there that is kind of working into that space. Now, continuing, the fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread, and this is moving us to the energy that is coming into divine union. So these are those temperance relationships, and those temperance relationships were coming together. They were effectively coming together between the time of Uranus stationing retrograde up until the time of the solstice period that we experienced this summer, we have here the Ten of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Devil card in its upright. So the thing about, I feel like the thing that we're seeing right now for a lot of the energy, the temperance relationships, and I was kind of speaking again, I was speaking upon this before we started the podcast. These relationships are, how do I describe it? These relationships are working into a space by which, and I like to see, like, and now again, this is why I always like to point out context is really important when we look at cards in proximity to each other, because we see here the Devil card, but we also see the Ten of Wands in its reversal. These temperance relationships are working through the understanding that the way that we heal from trauma is not the space by which we just stop being triggered sometimes. It's not always the space by which we stop being triggered. Often the way we heal from trauma is recognizing the amount of time we allow ourselves to feel energetically triggered, right? Shortening the distance between how we feel versus the ability to energetically move beyond it is what I keep on seeing. And I keep on hearing, like, for a lot of these energies, it's not the fact that they're not trying to feel anything, right? Because they're not working to disassociate. They're building into the context of feeling the weight of situations and circumstances, but they're not letting it, they're not letting it get the better of the self, right? They're not getting energetically overly fixated upon it. They're working, I feel like they're working through things with adaptability. And I keep on seeing the only thing that's difficult there is I almost feel like the energy is being hard on themselves for the fact that they're feeling energetically triggered in the first place. And I keep on seeing that this is how counterpart connection is helping in these vibrations, because it's the space by which we say, hey, like, this isn't the energy that's, if this is the energy that's apologizing for feeling things, it's almost the energy that says to itself, like, you don't need to apologize for feeling things. You're supposed to feel things. You're like, they're articulating to each other how much, like, how far they've progressed or how far they've come in terms of I keep on hearing, like, sometimes the sound of our healing is recognizing something that we were working through that would have taken a week, that now becomes a moment, right? The observation of understanding, like being able to effectively or energetically just allow for that change of distance, right? To reaffirm our own sense of energetic progress. I just keep on getting that for a lot of these relationships, they're giving each other encouragement in those modalities because they're telling each other that they're witnessing it, is what I keep on, they're like, it's evident. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's funny because it's like, I think it's funny because it's like the energy, like, it's like almost the energy that articulates. It's like when you say to someone, it's not like, the healing isn't working, and another person being like, are you kidding? It's evident. I can see the change. And so I feel like there's something about that here, you know? And I feel like, again, that and that, like, that, I'm going to stress this, you know, like, I got to tell you guys, like, the next couple of days, Saturn is direct and Mercury's in retrograde, right? So it's working through the frustration in terms of how long something takes and getting really hard on the self. And then, like, it's just like, it's allowing for the fact that the energy itself is kind of convoluted right now. Continuing to get clarification, moving towards those magician relationships. And just remembering the magician relationships, we always read for the energy that most recently entered into divine union. These were the relationships that were coming together between the solstice period up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. Clarification between our Fool card and our Queen of Cups in its reversal. One card, please. We've got the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords in its reversal. And Seven of Swords in its reversal is continuing. I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, just working on, like I keep on hearing, like working on composure. Why is composure important? Because when you're going through a maturation process, like like composure is the name of the healing. It's like that's what it is. Because the thing is, and this is why I keep on hearing, it's like I feel like the energy that keeps on navigating the self, they keep on assessing the self, they keep on observing what it is that they're effectively, like I keep on getting, like I keep on having the energy moving through the same experience, and they're working with counterpart on it, which is the space by which they work through. And it's interesting too, because I almost feel like I need to stress this, like composure is stability in judgment. And I think it's really timely that we see that, like a lot of the magician relationships are working through this, given the fact that we'll be studying that card next month. But when we are espousing, like when we are espousing like good energetic judgment, it's the space by which we work. Like I like to describe, like healthy judgment is running something up and down the stairs of the self and being like, if there's something wrong, like if there's like, is if there's something wrong about the way that we're navigating a situation, we often look to others to effectively help us, right? And this is how you can usually, right? This is how you can usually recognize the space of trusting one's own judgment, because you work it through, like you work it through another person, right? And so I feel like that's effectively what's happening for a lot of those relationships, right? They're working them out and they're working them through. They're having the conversations that they wish that they could have with another person. But I almost feel like the reason that they're having the conversation that they wish that they could have with another person is almost so counterpart can be in the space of saying like, no, that's logical, that's sound, like that seems very like that seems very like somebody saying like, is there a failure point in something there? Like I it's like the energy like almost going through something and saying like, are they missing something? Another person saying like, if you were missing something, I'd tell you. Because often when our logic is sound and we're navigating something that doesn't make sense, it's usually indicative that we're having to work through another person's egoic journey. And I keep on seeing that that's why we keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work. I keep on hearing we do each other no favors when we can't work each out. Like this is what we talk about with fortified feelings. Our job is not to carry the feelings of others for each other. Our job is to fortify our emotions so that our emotions make sense. Continuing to get clarification between our Queen of Cups in its reversal, in combination with the Eight of Wands in its reversal, in combination with the Hangman in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify? We've got here the Five of Wands in its reversal. So coming back to the energy and solitude right now, the thing I keep on identifying in relationality to the energy and solitude is I keep on hearing this is what I meant. Like I feel like the way that you can often, I keep on like the way that we can often work through something is the space by which we can, and it's interesting because I need to stress this. I keep on getting this feeling that for a lot of these energies in solitude, the experience of working through rough emotions, and I keep on getting, rough emotions allow for the adaptability point of being able to articulate and navigate what it is that we're like. It's the space by which I keep wondering, we work our feelings out with each other. We don't work our feelings out through each other, is all I keep on hearing. And the reason I keep on getting this for those energies in solitude, we work out our feelings with each other. We don't work out our feelings through each other. Is when we are working out our feelings with each other, we articulate upon how we feel, right? How are you doing today? I'm really angry, right? Like, okay, good, right? Like, that's great. Like, the space by which we say, I'm really angry. The reason we talk about that being a deliverance point is the fact that and here's the funny thing about it, the minute you say, I'm really angry, you're no longer taking the anger out on another, because you're observing the fact that someone finds you in the state. And here's the thing, even about it, like if you tell someone I'm really angry and then they notice some anger on you, they're like, yeah, well, that's good. You kind of prepared me for that, right? Like, it's like, but when we are not recognizing the fact that we're in those experiences, then it feels like others have to contend with them, right? So like we've all had those moments, like somebody walking around like, how are you? I'm fine. Like, oh, okay. Never were they not like, never were they less fine. That's why you hear the word fine and you want to run out the window, like you want to run away, because when somebody says you never have to really say you're fine. Like it's fine rarely means fine, doesn't it? Isn't that funny how that works, right? Usually when someone says when someone says they're fine, they're trying to be fine. Like they are mustering the courage to be fine is what we get. So for a lot of the energy, kind of working through that, I keep on seeing that, like, the space by which I keep on seeing, like I feel like it's almost like the energy, like they're recognizing how powerful a connection is, because they're articulating to each other the state they find each other in, right? Instead of feeling like they're being subjected to it. I'm going to say that again, because I keep on trying to define like the characteristics of these moon relationships. They articulate to each other the state that they find each other in. They don't subject each other to it, is what I keep on getting. Which is great, because here's the thing, right? We can handle each other's phases so long as we know what that phase is. Welcome to the moon relationships, right? What state do I find you in today? I am... It doesn't require us to have to get out like a microscope and a book and like take somebody's temperature, check which way the wind is blowing. It doesn't require any of that. It's nice. But the thing is about this, and I keep on seeing at the same time this is happening, and I'm just preparing you guys right now. I'm just preparing you guys for the energy in solitude. This is, I gotta tell you, I am saying this with all the kindness in my heart. This type of energy that we're in right now, at the same time that's healing happening, it also is the energy of a feeling dump. And the reason I keep on getting a feeling dump is because I keep on getting, like, it's working. And this is what I mean. Saturn, that's what I said. Saturn stationing, as all the cards fall on the ground. Saturn stationing direct before Mercury comes out of retrograde can often talk towards the understanding that feelings that do not have directions connected to them are just confusions that we give to each other. So this could be a situation. I literally see a modality right now where energy could be like minding their business, like just operating in a state of bliss, like doing the best that they can, and healing from a situation by which they felt like they were energetically pedestalized. And then all of a sudden, boom, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden, like this, like a lot of the, like somebody just coming towards them with like all of these feelings, but understanding that feelings don't heal things. Feelings don't heal things unless the feelings make sense. often you bring feelings to something and it doesn't have direction, it can often feel like it's further complicated. So that's what I keep on getting in relationality to something there, because I feel like that's what I meant about the next couple days feeling a little bit more like gear grinding, because and it'll ease up. Like it's going to ease up in a minute as soon as Mercury is direct again. But I keep on seeing that, like, almost like I feel like for some of the energy and solitude building into relationship circumstances like that being like case in point. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like one of those moments of like literally I almost feel like I feel like what's going to happen. Oh gosh, you know what's going to happen right now? You know what's going to happen right now, because this energy is just getting into the space that they're talking about things. It's going to feel like it's going to feel like they summoned it, but it's not because of it. It's not that you summoned it. It's because Saturn it's because Saturn has gone direct, right? It's like, it's just the fact, like it feels like, and I feel like even the observation of recognizing, I feel like this is energy potentially healing, because they're in the space by which they're talking to another person about feast or famine relationships. And that's often another way to describe pedestalization in partnership, right? Everything's either here or everything's down here. It never reaches. And the thing about it is, I keep on hearing like they're healing from predictable volatility in relationship is what I keep on getting. They're like, it's not that it's not predictable. They're like, they could like, I'm like, and you know what I mean? Like, it's like a lot of that. So it's hard is what I keep on seeing. Continuing to get clarification between our Hanged Man, our 8 of Wands in its reversal, and the 10 of Wands in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Sun card in its reversal. And so what do we effectively see with the Sun card in its reversal? The Sun card in its reversal. It's, and I'm going to say this for the Temperance relationships. It's really easy. It's very, very easy to enter into and like to feel, to be in this type of energy and be really hard on the self is what I keep on getting. I just want to stress that. This is the type of energy that, like, you know, it's almost like I need to feel like, I feel like for some of the, I would not be surprised right now if there's some energy that's like working through like this, like these experiences. And the thing I keep on, the thing about it is both, I keep on getting the energy that's coming into divine union and the energy deep within divine union are going through a rut. The energy that is coming into divine union are going through their own rut. The energy that's deep within divine union is navigating another person's rut, is what I keep on hearing. And the thing with a rut, and you have to understand, is a rut is the modality by which we have a lot of feelings and we have no idea where to put them, right? That is literally what a rut is. What do I do with all these feelings? I need more shelves. It's like, you know, like, I don't know where to put them. It's like, it feels like that modality or that experience by which you're working through something to a certain extent. So the thing with, I keep on seeing that is for the Temperance relationships, I feel like this is a lot of the energy that is like being hard on the self, wherein the fact that they feel like that and they're getting mad about I feel like the energy that is coming into divine union is getting mad at the rate of their own progress. And what's beautiful about it is I keep on hearing counterpart saying like, you fool, like I see, like, it's like, you fool, like this is the energy being like, I'm witnessing it. It's like the energy saying like it's like the energy that's trying to articulate to another the fact that progress is occurring, because the energy is literally like, I feel like the counterpart is literal is articulating to one another the fact that they're bearing witness to it, is what I keep on seeing. But and I feel like that's what's hard, right? And this is what's beautiful about being in loving relationships, right? Sometimes when we're and I feel like the space by which I keep on hearing new new complications indicate indicate progress, which is often, and I keep on hearing, because this is what I keep on hearing, they're almost like telling counterpart they're in a false rut, because I feel like it's the energy saying, if you've never gone through this before, like it's like the energy saying, like, if you haven't gone through something before, you're not in a rut. Is what I keep on hearing. Like a rut is indicative of something that is happening, but I keep on seeing it's like the energy that's almost bringing each other's awareness to one another in saying, you're not going through a rut, you're in the process of an energetic breakthrough, because you're going through something that you haven't gone through before. And often the space by which we get, like, the space by which we feel the energetic frustration point in navigating something, like, I keep on getting that for a lot of this energy, they're almost giving each other, I feel like they're giving each other the encouragement to take dynamic approaches to things. Now, for the energy that is coming deep, like deep within divine union, clarification between the Ten of Wands in its reversal and the Devil card in its upright. Can I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with the Eight of Swords in its upright. And let's talk a little bit about this. Let's talk a little bit about this Eight of Swords energy, because, and I'm going to tell you right now, the vibes on this table right now are not immaculate. But that's the thing, not over, like, and this is what, like, but the thing is, like, sometimes it be like that. It's like, sometimes when the energy is whack, recognizing the fact that it's not you that is the source of the whackness is the best thing you can do. It's the best thing you can do. Right? And that's what we see. That's what we see that those relationships are doing, those energies deep within divine union. Like, sometimes it's just working through the recognition. And I feel like I told you, I see the energy going, is this my rut or is this their rut? Right? And the understanding, right? Like the understanding or the recognition of working through an energetic frustration point. But I keep on getting in the same experience or the same modality by which, this is why I keep on getting that they're navigating an energetic rut to, like, assess their own energetic space within it, right? Like, this is, and I keep on seeing, like, that's what I mean in terms of the energy, like working into a space of composure, because I keep on getting that for a lot of the energy, doing that work or facilitating upon that, I feel like it's interesting, because it almost feels like, it makes sense. Uranus is back in Taurus. Yeah, Uranus is back in Taurus right now due to the retrograde cycle. So the thing that we're effectively identifying is the recognition that, sometimes patience is the poultice. Sometimes patience is just the poultice. And I know, like, we hate that, right? Sometimes we hate that. But because we'd rather do something that allows the context by which we could do something in a better way. But I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy working through that, like, I feel like they're going through, like, they're going through the circumstances or situations by which they're identifying or they're navigating or they're like working something out. But I keep on hearing, like, the space by which they're working something out, they're identifying or they're working upon what feels energetically corrective. But I keep on seeing, like, the space by which I keep on hearing, like, the energy going, like, working through something, and they're finding their own composure is them being like, there's nothing. It's like the energy that often articulates upon something different that they could be doing, but not feeling like that's present. And then just finding, I keep wondering, like finding that modality or that experience of composure as they navigate the like frustrating situations with a sense of like with a sense of fortitude and patience. Continuing to get clarification between our Seven of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Five of Wands in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with the star energy. Now, moving back to the energy in solitude. This is relationship built upon refreshment. But the reason I keep on hearing the fact that there's something energetically refreshing that's happening right now in these new relationships is giving each other. I keep on hearing giving each other the gift of being able, like I keep wondering, giving each other the gift of being able to recognize, I keep wondering, the ability to recognize the difference between working out feelings with each other versus working out feelings through each other. Because one of the things that we're effectively understanding is with a lot of those relationships or with a lot of those situations, I keep on seeing we allow each other the space to have feelings, is what I keep on seeing, right? We allow each other the space to have feelings. But the difference between, I keep on hearing, like, this is what I meant. This is going to be one of the guidance points of these new relationships that I keep on seeing. The difference between someone saying, you've caught me in a mood, versus somebody taking their mood out on someone is the self-awareness by which we are able to identify and be, right? We check our own, like, again, their moon relationships. So they check their own water, right? What's the water looking like today? It's like it's the understand. It's not making another person. It's like not making another person have to figure it out, right? Like it's not making another person have to get out like all of the instruments to try to figure out the energetic mood that they find us in, but rather just the ability by which we articulate and identify to another how we energetically feel. And I keep on hearing like that in itself is that we don't, like, this is what we talk about in relationality to like helping each other along the way. Because the difference between the minute that you say, like, you found me in a foul mood or you found me in like a negative space, is the space by which you're already creating a barrier between how another person finds you versus what they can expect from you, right? And so that gift, like, that's often something that we meet with gratitude, because it doesn't require us to come into a false sense of self, right? It doesn't require us to come into a false sense of self. It requires us to effectively assess ourselves so that another person doesn't wreck themselves upon us. I'm going to say that again. It allows us the ability to assess ourselves so that another person does not wreck themselves upon us. So that modality or the experience, like this is what I keep on getting, like that is what is allowing so much of a poultice in these new relationships, because it feels like a breath of fresh air. So I keep on getting that there's something about that space of awareness that feels so, like, I keep on hearing it's making the energy feel so energetically safe. At the same time, though, I keep on getting, this could be that if there's something from the past that hasn't healed, there could be something effectively coming back towards like another in these experiences, given the fact that I keep on getting, whenever we have Saturn stationing direct with Mercury in retrograde, it's the message that says emotions are only gifts if the gift comes with directions, right? If you give if you give someone your emotions and they don't come with directions, you've just given them a box of stuff to sort through. You haven't given them any. It's not a gift. It's not a gift. You haven't given anyone anything to. You haven't given someone a gift. You've just given them a lot to sort through. So I feel like there's something important about that. Continuing to get clarification between our Five of Wands in its reversal in combination with the Sun card in its reversal. We've got here the World card in its reversal. So the thing that we see with the World card in its reversal, particularly and especially for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union, I feel like this is like, this type of energy, I would not be surprised. This is a type of energy that gets frustrated in relationality to the amount of time things take, right? And I feel like, and I know when you say that, like, and here's the thing, right? When we say that to each other, it diminishes. It feels like a diminishment, but like it can sometimes feel very, very difficult when we're working through things and we experience, like, I told you, the apex of the retrograde, like feeling like something that feels like it gets harder instead of easier. So if you're feeling like that right now, I don't want you to over internalize on it. It's literally the vibe right now. Everybody's going through it. And when we don't get twisted up about it, right? But instead of getting twisted up about it, if we just allow the context by which we're energetically productive, right? I keep on hearing the difficult effort becomes the training wheels, right? It's the space by which we are effectively working through something that allows us to be able to find patience. And so what I think is beautiful about this is I almost feel counterparts that are trying to diminish, right? They're almost like, I feel like the counterparts right now are almost trying to diminish the fact that something that they're doing, like they're almost like the space by which I feel like they're trying to diminish it. And I almost feel like it's the counterpart saying back to the self, you don't see yourself with clarity. They're also going through a lot of those moon relationships because it's the space by which the shape of love is often the shape by which we say to another person, if you could see the things that I see, you could see how beautiful you've become, or you can see how beautiful, like how beautiful the work that you're doing is. But what often happens in those modalities is we get so caught up in trying to do something as effectively as we can that we often feel like the misperception is the misperception that we have in relationality to what we're seeing, right? What we're seeing outside of the self versus our internal intentions, right? We can sometimes be very unforgiving, but that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, like that ability of doing so, that ability of reminding each other, I feel like they're giving each other the gift of their own perception, right? They're giving each other the gift of how they see each other through their eyes, continuing to get clarification between the Sun card in its reversal in combination with our Eight of Swords in its upright. We've got here the Nine of okay, I like this. This is the first card. It's a good nine. The nine of we've got the Nine of Wands in its reversal. And the Nine of Wands in its reversal with the energy that's deep within divine union is like, I feel like the Nine of Wands in its reversal, deep within divine union, is like, it's looking towards, it's funny because it almost feels like, and I keep on getting this, and this was actually a message that was coming through when we were doing the masculine, feminine, and non-binary energy update the other day. Working through the observation, and this is what we mean in relationality to navigating through, what we feel or what we identify as what, like like, and this is what we often experience with the maturation process. The only energy, like the only energy that we effectively, like, I keep on hearing the only energy that we effectively dote upon is the energy that we dote upon in partnership, right? Like that's where, like that, like this is what I keep on seeing. And this is what I mean about the maturation process for some of these energies that are moving deeper into divine union, right? We don't energetically dote upon things outside of partnership, because outside of partnership is where we work. Like I keep on hearing where we work to, like where we work to effectively support. I keep on hearing like we support each other in the best way possible, right? We build into that amplification point, right? Like I keep on hearing like we work towards, we nurture within relationship and we amplify without, right? So it's a lot of that type of energy. But when another person, like when we work through the modality or the experience of a maturation cycle, one of the things that we often experience are orbital issues. And orbital issues are the modalities by which another person does not feel like we're energetically prioritizing right. And that can often feel like rigorous points, right? Because those modalities or experiences by which we feel energetically misperceived or misconceived can sometimes rub us the wrong way. But that's why I keep on seeing that if the energy is feeling irritated, right? If they're feeling irritated by another's like misperception, but they're not feeling, I keep on hearing, but they're not feeling like infuriated, I feel like that in itself is its own like healing, because this is the energy that's recognizing what's within their power to change, right? Something that they could be doing differently versus something that they're experiencing that again, like doesn't feel energetically fair. Because again, the one thing we never ask each other to do is to ask us to go back to a past version of self. And that's often when we can tell that we are in a space of difficulty, because you can't ask someone to do that. You can't. Like, I can't say to you, go become the person you were 5 years ago. Right? Like that's not available to you. We welcome and we witness one another's transformation. And we do, and if it doesn't, and I keep wondering, if it doesn't feel energetically corrective, right? We articulate and we amplify what needs energetic like adjustment point, or what needs something that we need to effectively articulate that we're experiencing that another could do more effectively. But the spaces or the places, like again, we sometimes, like one of the best ways to heal is recognizing when we ourselves are catching ourselves in spaces by which the way we're thinking about something is giving indications of indulgent thought. Indulgent thought is often the modality by which you say to another person, I like who you used to be instead of who you are, right? And so I feel like there's a lot of that energy that's like it's almost like the energy that's working through something like that. And it hurts, but it's also the energy that recognizes that they know that they're moving in the direction that is best for them. Continuing to get clarification. And I keep on hearing, and the way that they can calibrate for that is they keep checking with counterpart, right? They're checking with those around them. Continuing to get clarification between our star card and the world card in its reversal. We've got here the Four of Wands and it's upright. The Four of Wands and it's upright here, I keep on saying, like, this is positive. Like, the one thing I will say right now, we're going through like this little bit of a crimp energy is the best way I can describe this. Like, it's funny too, because I know that everybody keeps on saying, oh, good, oh, good, oh, good. When does the retrograde season end? Oh, good, planets are coming out of retrograde. But sometimes, and here's the thing that's weird to understand, sometimes planets coming out of retrograde can cause more of a retrograde if they come out in a weird order, is what I keep on hearing. So that's what we're kind of experiencing the next couple of days, especially with Saturn coming out of retrograde before Mercury. It can sometimes feel like the energetic rigor that is standing in the way of progress is what I keep on getting. Especially with, and so I keep on hearing, like, don't internalize if you're feeling like that. Like it feels, I keep on getting, it feels like Sisyphus energy. So if you're feeling like that, remember, you're not the only one feeling like that right now. Continuing to get clarification between our World card in its reversal and the Nine of Wands in its reversal. Whoop. We've also got here the Ace of Cups in its reversal. So let's, the one thing I'll describe too is the one thing I want you not to get, I need to stress this, like when things like, I keep on hearing like some things to keep in mind with this type of energy is like watch pots never boil, right? Like the modality or the experience by which we put a lot of force of intention on things, sometimes things feel like they go slower when we're going through experiences like that. It's like, so I don't want you over focusing right now. If there's something that you're trying to do and it's not moving in the way that one would aspire or desire it to, because everything I keep on seeing right now with this energy, it's allowing the space by which we give, I keep on hearing, we give each other the gift of patience, right? And we give each other, I keep on hearing, like, we give each other the gift of patience. We give each other the gift of communication. I keep on hearing, this is not the time to get frustrated if something is not moving in the way that one aspires it to. Now is the time to energetically percolate, which is like basically saying like put that effort to other things right now. Like allow that modality by which you I keep on getting like by which you kind of give something. Like I keep wondering, like, give something a minute. Final card for today's spread, between our Four of Wands in its upright and the Ace of Cups in its reversal. We've got here the Nine of Cups in its reversal. So let's talk a little bit about this Nine of Cups in its reversal. We've got a lot of nine energy on the table right now. We've got the Nine of Wands. We've got the Nine of Cups in its reversal. We've also got, and I want to stress this too. When I see a lot of nine energy like this, it can often, like, the thing about it is it can create those frustration points working through. I keep on hearing, like, we often get most frustrated right before a breakthrough, because the modality or the experience by which we're navigating a breakthrough, like those points by which we articulate or like try to do something in a different way. I keep wondering, I don't want you to exhaust yourself, like working on something like over and over and over again. I want you to take dynamic approaches to how you are recognizing or identifying, like, working through situations right now. Because I keep on getting, the thing about it is, like, especially like the thing I like to identify when we're going through experiences like this is that like it's allowing for the space by which we can, like, I keep on hearing, like, doing something in a way that I keep on hearing, like, the night when something isn't working, we try other things, is all I keep on hearing, right? We do things in different ways. So I feel like I'm seeing that across all of the relationship frequencies, because that the word dynamic is effectively allowing the context by which another person, like, there's energy right now coming into you, like in solitude, building into relationship, that's having dynamic conversations on emotions, right? They're talking towards the fact that emotions are fortified with direction, but the space by which we just deliver each other emotions, right? Like, without without any context, or without any without any context, or without any clarity, it can often feel more like we're divesting ourselves of the emotions instead of trying to work through them with another person. While for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union, this is the energy that's being asked to kind of hold themselves with a deeper sense of compassion, potentially via the counterpart articulating upon being able to see the progress that they themselves might not see. For energy deep within divine union, it's a lot of the energy that's effectively identifying and articulating upon the energetic, I keep wondering, the energetic ceiling of their own maturation, by which they're not going to do something that defies their own standards or defines their own meaning. Like, I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, they're very much in the space of composure, particularly if they're in a space by which they're articulating upon the fact that they recognize that they're in a space by which they're ready, willing, and able to have a healthy conversation, but they're not moving through something in such a way that feels like it cultivates something that feels energetically absurd. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, kind of like working through those things or identifying them or speaking towards them. It's I keep on hearing it's beneficial and it's reaffirming, but it's also not easy, because I keep on hearing like there's potentially a lot of trauma that's being eased in the condition by which they're able to articulate upon that. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, especially with the Two of Wands in its upright. The Two of Wands in its upright. The thing I like to articulate with the Two of Wands in its upright is being able to identify and speak towards communication. You know, the funny thing about it, like, so much in life can just be resolved by a healthy conversation. It's really amazing. It's really like, it's good to talk about things, right? And you'll often notice that the shape of trauma is often most articulated by someone refusing to talk about something, right? It's like the refusal of another person to talk about something, and then it becomes everybody else's responsibility to navigate to navigate the energetic refusal point. And so, for a lot of the energy kind of working through that, I know it sounds like, but here's the other thing that's hard about it, right? Like, this is a difficulty point. A healthy conversation is often like life changing, but you can't force healthy conversations. You can't force them, right? Because a healthy conversation is something that happens organically. It's either there or it's not. And often we have to also calibrate for the fact that we can't force healthy conversations, because healthy conversations that are forced become unhealthy confrontations. So I feel like there's a lot of that, like there's a lot of the energy in those modalities or those experiences that effectively recognize and identify through those things. And I feel like, the space, like the space by which one is able to do so, like it's not, and I feel like it's hard too, because I would not be surprised if there's energy right now longing for healthy conversations with others. That's what effectively, like, what this type of energy is. But, and this is what's hard about living the life that we live. Sometimes situations make it impossible to have a healthy conversation with someone. Sometimes healthy conversations are impossible if we're not ready to face things within ourselves. Sometimes healthy conversations are conversations that we wish that we could have, but we recognize that we're not healed enough to have, right? Even sometimes recognizing our own volatility and being like, I can't have this conversation right now. Sometimes feelings get in the way. The important thing is for us to be able to assess, right? It's being able to give, I keep on hearing, like, the space by which we articulate upon how we feel is what feels energetically productive. So I feel like if you're going through anything like that right now, like, let the words, let the words heal you, right? Let the words heal you. But again, help another person Make sure that you're articulating to another person how you're feeling. Don't take out the fact that you're feeling something on another person. That is where we find all of the energy. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, I want to thank you for, I want to thank everybody who participated in our recent class on the Sun card. Our next class is going to be held on Thursday, December 18th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be continuing our studies into the tarot with a study on the Judgment card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. As a monthly subscriber, you'll have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. And as a founding member, you'll have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the archive. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions you have in relation to anything that we've studied so far. And if you become a founding member, you'll also have access to receiving a complimentary mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my Mystic Meditation articles there, which I release bi-monthly, which will give you updates on what we've been experiencing and seeing energetically. I also want to let you guys know that I also want to invite you all to head over to the stack to learn more about our retreat that we'll be having in August, where we will be heading to Italy to study the tarot in the cradle by which the tarot was discovered. We are going to be doing a lot of study in terms of the mytho-symbolic symbolism that we find in the cards to understand its deeper connection to the culture and the time that it was discovered, and also understanding the allegory behind the cards through a lot of the art and architecture that we find in that culture. All you need to do, if you would like to find out more about that class, is head over to my stack. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which can be purchased per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.